രാജേശ്വരി വെങ്കിട്ടരമണൻ 130 വാക്ക് ഇംഗ്ലീഷ് ഷോർട്ട് ആൻഡ് സ്പീഡ് ഡിക്റ്റേഷൻ. ഇത് 50ാമത്തെ എണ്ണമാണ്. ഞാൻ പ്ലേലിസ്റ്റിൽ എല്ലാ സ്പെഷ്യൽ ഫ്രേസസ് എല്ലാം യൂട്യൂബ് ഈ ചാനലിൽ ഇട്ടിട്ടുണ്ട്. അത് നോക്കി നിങ്ങൾ പഠിക്കുക. പഠിച്ചെങ്കിൽ വളരെ വേഗത്തിൽ 120 വേർഡ്സ് എഴുതാൻ സാധിക്കും. I may discuss with you one or two of the questions in which we are all interested. The first of those that strikes my mind is that of higher education itself as imparted in our universities. For some years past, it has been criticized adversely and severely, first by some British officials and following them by a section of our countrymen as responsible for many evils ranging from slave mentality to unemployment. The charge in connection with the former has lately fallen in the background through one hears even now some echo of it from time to time, but that in regard to unemployment still persists. It is consistently asserted in certain quarters that it is the universities that are mainly responsible for unemployment in an acute form among the educated classes in this country, and that it would disappear if steps were taken to discourage, if not to abolish, university education. But there are other countries which, proportionately to their area and population, have a much larger number of universities and turn out an appreciably larger number of graduates, but where the problem of unemployment has never been suggested as an adequate ground for discouraging or abolishing university education. I venture to suggest to you that this problem has not been examined by the critics of our universities in a correct perspective. To begin with, is it possible to deal with the question of unemployment among the educated classes as something wholly distinct from the state of chronic unemployment prevailing among the vast bulk of the illiterate masses in the country? Is it logical to divide the problem of unemployment in India into two watertight compartments and to seek a solution of one while ignoring the economic conditions affecting the other and by far the greater part? I submit it betrays an error of judgment to adopt this line of reasoning and to attempt to solve on its basis the problem of unemployment amongst the educated classes alone, irrespective of the condition in this respect of large sections of our masses. India, it seems, is unfortunately the only country where unemployment is proclaimed to be the result of higher education. In Europe and America, while it is true that the general tendency is to give a practical turn to education, they do not try to solve the problem of unemployment by that means alone. Economic development and industrial expansion through political control are what Western nations have turned to as the remedy for the unemployment and not the curtailment of university education. You may make education as practical as you please. You may convert all your schools and colleges into technical and technological institutions, but you will not thereby reduce unemployment unless you are able to increase the wealth of the country and what is more to prevent its being drained away. Viewed thus, the unemployment problem in India is not so much an educational as an economic one, which again cannot be disassociated from its implications, and to attempt to solve it chiefly by proposing drastic changes in the educational system alone is bound to end in producing a worse state of things, for it would be an attempt to cure a bad disease by a worse remedy. Let our education system be recast, revised and reorganized as you will, but unless the economic system is substantially improved by means of the industrial development of the natural resources of the country, unemployment will not disappear even though higher education were reformed out of its very existence. This for the simple reason that unemployment is the result not so much of serious defects in our university education as of an unsound economic system. Growing unemployment in the various spheres of intellectual activity is an international